When America learned the IRS was going after conservative groups, Obama told us, reminiscent of the Fast and Furious scandal, that it was just a couple of rogue agents that were responsible. No upper-level IRS officials were involved, and no one from the Obama administration knew about it or directed it. The nation was shocked at what these rogue agents had accomplished all by themselves. Hundreds of conservative groups were repeatedly sent endless questionnaires, forcing them to divulge donor lists, political and family connections, even the content of their prayers. This resulted in tying up their requests for tax-exempt status for years, spanning both the 2010 midterms and 2012 presidential election. Lois Lerner, former director of the IRS Exempt Organizations Division, with an arrogant look on her face reminiscent of Barack Obama, proclaimed before Congress with righteous indignation that she had done nothing wrong.
I have not done anything wrong. I have not broken any laws. I have not violated any IRS rules or regulations, and I have not provided false information to this or any other congressional committee.
But quickly claimed the fifth. As revealed by two recent House of Representatives Committee on Oversight and Government Reform reports, it was not a few rogue IRS agents in Cincinnati that targeted conservatives, but was in fact high-level IRS employees, including those based in Washington. According to emails released by the House reports, Lois Lerner and literally dozens of upper-level employees of the IRS not only knew about the targeting of conservative groups, but directed it. According to one email released by the House report, Judith Kindle, Lois Lerner's boss, sent an email to Lerner specifying in fact that all tax-exempt applications marked Tea Party be sent to Washington. But it gets worse, much worse. One House report includes a briefing document prepared for Lois Lerner in July of 2011 that mandates that applications that contain the terms Tea Party, Patriots, or 912 Project in its name should be targeted. And here's the worst of it. Lerner demands that conservative groups that call for government spending, government debt or taxes, or those who want to make America a better place to live, be singled out for targeting. This is the woman who cried before Congress that she had done nothing wrong.
I have not done anything wrong.
She's targeting Americans that want to make this country a better place to live. Forget about compelling her to testify. She should be in prison for treason. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hundreds of emails obtained by the government watchdog group Judicial Watch reveal a vast Obama administration conspiracy to destroy the Tea Party. In just one email, the head of IRS exempt organizations in Cincinnati, Cindy Thomas, not a low-level IRS agent, emailed top IRS official Holly Paz in Washington with the following. Did you know about these additional 10 Tea Party cases? Do you want all of them, or do you only want a few? And this is just one of the dozens of officials in Washington named in the House reports and emails released by Judicial Watch. Can it get any worse? In Washington, there's a saying, another week, another Obama scandal. When the IRS scandal was blown wide open, it was found the conservative group, True the Vote, concerned with stamping out voter fraud, received especially egregious treatment from federal agencies.
Since that filing in 2010, my private businesses, my nonprofit organizations, my family, and I have been subjected to more than 15 instances of audit or inquiry by federal agencies. In 2011, my personal and business tax returns were audited by the Internal Revenue Service, each audit going back for a number of years. In 2012, my business was subjected to inspection by OSHA on a select occasion when neither my husband or I were present, and though the agency wrote that it found nothing serious or significant, it still issued fines in excess of $20,000. In 2012 and again in 2013, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms conducted comprehensive audits at my place of business, and beginning in 2010, the FBI contacted my nonprofit organization on 6 separate occasions wanting to call through membership manifests in conjunction with domestic terrorism cases. They eventually dropped all matters and have now redacted nearly all my files. All of these incursions into my affairs began after filing applications for tax exemption. There is no other remarkable event. There's no other reason to explain how, for decades, I went unnoticed, but now find myself on the receiving end of interagency coordination into and against all facets of my life, both personal and private. Bear in mind, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of this subcommittee, these events were occurring while the IRS was subjecting me to multiple rounds of abusive inquiries with requests to provide every Facebook and Twitter I'd ever posted, questions about my political aspirations, and demands to know the names of groups that I'd spoken with, the content of what I'd said, and everywhere I intended to speak in the coming year. The answers to these sorts of questions are not of interest to the typical IRS analyst, but they are certainly of interest to a political machine that would put its own survival against the civil liberties of a private citizen.
This was thought to be an isolated incident. It was not. Darrell Issa, the bulldog of the House of Representatives, revealed in a June 9, 2014 letter to IRS Commissioner John Koskinen that he has learned that Eric Holder's Department of Justice requested Lois Lerner turn over confidential tax information illegally to the FBI. In emails contained in Issa's letter, one dated October 5, 2010, weeks before the 2010 midterms, Lois Lerner arranges to turn over confidential taxpayer data to DOJ official Richard Pilger, stating that we are, quote, getting you the disks we spoke about. Darrell Issa has obtained these disks via subpoena, 21 in all, and found that they contain over 1 million pages of confidential taxpayer information gathered for the sole purpose of launching criminal investigations against conservative groups. Representative Darrell Issa concludes his letter with the following, quote, this revelation that the IRS sent 1.1 million pages of nonprofit tax return data, including confidential taxpayer information, to the FBI confirms suspicions that the IRS worked with the Justice Department to facilitate the potential investigation of nonprofit groups engaged in lawful political speech. That's right, Eric Holder's Department of Justice directed the FBI investigate conservative groups for engaging in political speech, essentially nullifying the First Amendment. Will we finally learn what has already been deemed a foregone conclusion? That the Obama administration not only knew about the targeting of conservatives, but in fact directed it. Whether Barack Hussein Obama simply knew about the targeting or in fact directed it matters little. Either way, he should be impeached, forced to resign. The American people care not. We simply want this lawless president to leave the White House immediately.
I call upon all of you to wage a second American nonviolent revolution, to use civil disobedience, and to demand that this president leave town